We'd like 3 transfers, please, because we want to ride all 3 today. So.
Yeah. If you got transfers, you're already good.
I hear the sound of a wheel. Why don't you get that train while you can? Oh, you already did.
Volunteer driven, so they're all together.
Okay. Yes, can you hold on to these, please?
Sir, if I may say, sir, I've never seen hair of that shade of red in my life, and I've known many redheads.
Should we sit in the middle? Leo,
We can only fit 2 at a time here, so why don't you 2?
I sit over here and you sit next to us.
Okay, good.
Right on this curve, right above us. That's why I'm not going near the bridge when there's a train on it. You say lightning can't strike twice, but you don't take that chance. In fact, the derailment occurred on top of our power substation, that little tan building up to our left. With no power, there's no streetcars. So, luckily or not, it dovetailed with the pandemic, so there wasn't large attendance in 2021, but they had to have CSX come by us and pay for a brand new power substation to replace the one that their train crashed into. Yes. I have to point out that car to our left is a very special car to us. That's 417. It is the oldest car in our collection, and it is also just the cutest car that we have.
McNally, permission to go in the train
What's
clear.
special about that one is that it's the only car in the fleet that was
Mr. McNally.
powered in different ways. It actually used to be a horse car. Then Baltimore, it's not well known like San Francisco, but there was a cable car era here, where at one point there was cables in the street, and you hooked.
Where, excuse me, sir, what this trolley was in?
Say again?
What that trolley was in?
What do you mean, Leo? What do you mean?
What's that trolley that exists in? Which state?
Oh no, this was a Baltimore trolley, Leo.
Yeah.
You're right. Sorry. That's okay.
Wheel over there, part of the old cable car.
It exactly is, yes. So under the ground or at the end of the line, that was pulling Baltimore cable to various street. I want to
That
say,
train just passed away.
reasons, it's really hard to
Okay.
use the cables underneath to dig up the entire.
Ding, ding.
No, in fact, when the streetcars were pulled out of service and the last one ran 61 years ago, 1963, some could switch over and some couldn't because they had no driver's license to buses.
No, I don't. I think my motorman. Do you have a
You need a radio. You need a radio.
Yeah.
I used to live in San Jose, so I went up to San Francisco on the weekends with my parents sometimes. So I kind of recognize that wheel from the house in San Francisco. And I still have a
Here we go.
I've been on a really old one in a while. Yeah, these are like the times. This is like the time my great-grandfather rode in Rochester when he worked at the factory when Grandma Betsy was a little girl. Like, my other great-grandfather didn't ride things like this because Marty and Connie's father would just simply take the subway because they were bigger than this. While Oral was not even in. Well, I don't know. Oral's father may have taken a trolley to the town of Princeton, Indiana, but Princeton, Indiana was more small. Yeah, my name's there we go. Take pictures of us with your camera. Mine, they never come out. as well. Hopefully your nails didn't get. Oh, you're wearing gloves.
So do we need to put the alcohol
We gotta take Leo home first.
Of course, yeah.
What for?
No, because we got other stuff to do. I'm not hungry unless I'm just nibbling on enough stuff to be fine.
Oh, what happened? Sir,
Leo, what are you asking? What are you asking, Leo?
is there blood?
What do you mean blood? No.
No, it's a stain.
Is there blood over there?
No, Leo.
Is there blood?
Safety stop.
Is there
Safety
blood
stop.
on that window?
No, where?
Look, this one over
No,
here.
that's paint, Leo. That's
You're right.
Because they have to repaint these things all the time.
You're right.
You know?
The paint. Sorry, sir.
All right. You gotta remember, plus also, blood doesn't really stain quite as much as people think it does. In the movies, they don't even use real blood. And even if they did use real blood, it wouldn't come out the way they want it. So that's why they use fake blood, because real blood doesn't look like blood on camera.
Yep.
Alright, welcome to the end of our line. This is our 28th Street Loop. Newer cars like the PCCs that you may have ridden or will ride later would actually use the loop to turn around, but this is what's called a two-man car. That's right, double the labor cost. I'm here to motor the car, and Chuck is here to conduct. So he was, as he did, collect fares. He's going to trim the car right now. Trolley pole follows the wire. So he has to change the direction of the pole so that we have power on the way back. This particular car, 264, was built right on the money in 1900 and served 19 years till 1919.
Is it 1950?
No, Leo. No, Leo.
Yeah, this was quite a bit before that. This is an interesting car because it's what they call a convertible car. All of these window panels actually come out. So before that, they would have two types of cars. Open air cars, nice and breezy for the summertime, and then completely enclosed cars like this one for the wintertime. And that's great until it's really hot in the summer and really too cold in the winter. So for these, the big innovation was all of these panels unscrew, and you just take it out, and when it's summertime, you have a nice breezy car. The problem is it's not like IKEA. These are not interchangeable. These were all sort of cut as close as possible and measured, so when it's time to put them all back together, this panel has to go on this window. And there were a lot of streetcars and a lot of panels, so the real advantage is you have a warehouse during the summer of like 1,000 plus of these just lying around in the Jenga puzzle come fall. This is our oldest car in the fleet that has two trucks. That means two wheel sets.
Do they got scrap?
If you get a chance to ride like the single truck cars in the middle, kind of get teeter totter.
Do those get
ones that
scrap?
are
Wait till he's done, then you ask, alright?
What we're riding right now is not the streets, but rather a former right-of-way of what was the Maryland and Pennsylvania Railroad, or the Ma and Pa, affectionately. You may have noticed the nice urban blight behind us. It's actually a former roundhouse
What
for
the
Maryland Pacific Railroad. The museum is in talks of purchasing that property back from the city of Baltimore. They have given it a lovely purpose. It's where they store their dump trucks, like for road salting and sanding. But the museum's vision to have that as part of our experience, have a place to store more streetcars. What is my other fun fact in my pocket? We are not on standard gauge. That means that almost all train tracks in America have the exact same spacing between rails.
I get
You
you.
can pick up a train someplace, plop it somewhere else, and you can just run the train. Not Baltimore. Its spacing is slightly further gauge. So, what is a challenge for us is having the wheel sets that are built for this track.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the other two are PC see, so we're just gonna loop back around it. We're not gonna actually have to go back like make this the front now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll say this way, 2 o'clock on your left, that's 210, 215. I'm not gonna fill a match bet for 4 o'clock.
I had just a question come to mind. You said this was around 1919.
Yes.
Did they use it for anything like as a work car afterwards?
I know that.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why a lot of these cars were
Survived.
saved, because they were work cars, line cars, car cars, salt spreaders, wheel grinders.
Amazingly, the green one I pointed out earlier, it was saved because it was a work car. So it's weird to go from 3 types of power being drawn by horses before 1900 and then
Horse car, cable car, trailer, motor car.
Exactly.
United got their money's worth out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's go. Sorry, you first.
Oh, sorry. So, does all the trains that you have here at this location, they all use the same amount of voltage to run?
Yes.
Okay.
And that specific value is
600 volts.
Yes.
600 volts. Okay.
I would recommend not touching the wire above us.
Okay.
No, it's quite a bit of power. And what we're taught in training as well as when we're up here, it's a rather simple electrical diagram. Power comes into the motors, and for these cars, the brake is the handbrake. I'm cranking the brake to push against the wheel sets. But to avoid touching metal surfaces, just in case. Breaker set. Any other questions?
Did this one did some of those older ones get scrapped?
Yes, Leo. Unfortunately, they did. Many of them, but like I don't know if they dumped them in the ocean like New York City or whether they more likely just melted them in Pittsburgh or something.
A lot of our books in the bookstore has the really classic photo of streetcars stacked on top of each other and set on fire. So it's quite the picture. One of that. Are you familiar with National City Lines by chance?
What?
Are you familiar with the National City Lines?
No.
So there was quite a few reasons for the demise of the streetcar. One of it was comfort. Buses were seen as these rubber-tired, smoother vehicles that could just navigate around obstructions. Today we know them as being stuck in traffic because buses are not invested in as they should be. Another reason is there was some investors into buses, namely Standard Oil and oh gosh, what's the tire company? I'm blanking. Not Goodyear. It was
Michelin?
Michelin?
No, General Motors, tires, Firestone, and Standard Oil.
Yes, I was off by tires. Well, what do? They pull their money together and they buy National City Lines. It is a national franchise of city streetcar lines. And what do? They rip them out. Why? To put more buses that use their oil and tires.
The joke
Reminds me of Roger Rabbit.
No, the joke is with NCL, and a lot of people, the company lost riders, boom. And the joke is they either ride our bus or they buy a Chevrolet. We got them either way.
Yeah. Was NCL the same company that took over the LA streetcar?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So
I
that's why that yellow.
Why do you got
yellow
fuck
PCC
up that
in the shed
trolley?
Looks like an LA PCC. Same,
That was
I guess
fucking
same
ridiculous.
company,
Actually, believe it or not, in Baltimore, the NCL.
Why does trolley
by
ass
voting
go in the
control of the
fucking
company
room?
For a little over the book value of Baltimore Transit was $40 million.
Why this
And
old
this is
streetcar is
100%
going to move
dollars, by
fucking
the way.
slower?
Yeah.
When the state of Maryland acquired the Baltimore Transit, condemned the Baltimore Transit Company in 1970, the book value was $11 million.
Stop listening to music.
They stole, and I can't say stole because
What?
it's perfectly legal,
I think it's
$30 million,
pretty
and it only takes one
Oh.
Well, if we're ready, let's go.
Anita.
Hey.
Break set.
Break set?
It's already set.
Yeah, don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Let the conductor do it, okay?
The war box, second box. They had $6 million in the maintenance fund. That's for a company. Washington, D.C. is the only city in North America where streetcars were built by an act of Congress.
After we ride that trolley,
Okay. But for the 7-year mandate.
after we are done riding that trolley, after we are
I
done,
don't know which one's next. I think the Philly trolley's next, and then we'll do the other Baltimore trolley. Mom has transferred.
no, because I need to charge my portable charger.
What?
I need to charge my portable charger.
On the way home, Leo?
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yeah, we can do that on the way home.
How long are we going to stay in here?
What? Not too long, Leo. I mean, we're only... The ride is like, what, a mile or so? So we're not really...
How long are we going to be in the museum?
Not that long, Leo. We get in other museums much longer. We're just going to ride 3 trolleys, and then we can go home if you want that.
I don't think so, because about the portable charger. I don't
Leo,
think...
you've got plenty of room. Don't panic, alright? You gotta make sure... Oh, wait, we don't have... Uh-oh, here comes another train.
But if he knew he was going to bang the desk at 5 o'clock, it wasn't worth it.
As I mentioned to some passengers as we were boarding, back in 2021, there was a derailment on that bridge with that train line. It fell onto that substation. So we're going to just sit back here in a holding pattern until that very, very slow train clears its path.
It's moving slower than we were.
You were not incorrect. Are there any other questions by any chance? I can start pulling out streetcar fun facts. 1963 was the final run of streetcars in Baltimore. That created about a 25-ish year gap until MTA Maryland opened their light rail link, which restored rail service in the city limits.
Actually, it's 20. So Metro opened in 1983.
Yep.
Gotcha. Streetcar companies, I mentioned, were bought out and were a bit purposely demised. Before that, it wasn't just like transporting passengers as the main fare revenue. The streetcar companies had a threefold plan. They owned the right-of-way and the surrounding land, so they were also real estate companies that wanted people to purchase homes off of their streetcar lines. So you have a captive audience every day who will ride the lines to work, to recreation, to shopping.
Amusement park. It's an amusement park.
Exactly. So what do you do when you have extra land at the end and you also have electricity at your fingertips? You build amusement parks. So Baltimore had a couple, I believe, if not a few.
Bay Shore, Riverview, Gwynn Oak. There were about 3 or 4 that were company parks.
Yep.
Hmm.
Kind of like if Costco, drove your car for you and ran Six Flags.
Did they also build Druid Hill Park or just connect?
No. Yes and no. Your car fare built Druid Hill Park because they have what's called a park tax. 20% of all fares collected went to the city for the acquisition and maintenance of parkland. With Druid Hill, Clifton, Patterson, all to be paid for out of the car check.
Okay. And then DC, I guess one of the DC companies, they set up Glen Echo Park there?
Yes, Glen Echo Park was a company park.
Okay.
That's actually a good point. If you enjoyed that, a lot of our cars ran on Baltimore streets.
Not
Say-
all of them. 2168 is a Philadelphia car.
I think it's in mostly. Yeah, mostly all, not all. We do have a SEPTA car, which is clearly Philadelphia.
And do you know the reason why?
I think I have a guess. Is it to put all the mileage in that one?
Gauge.
Gauge. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, we had to slap on Baltimore wheel sets to the bottom. NCTM in Maryland, they have, or Montgomery County, excuse me, they have more international cars. If you want to ride a car from Toronto, you can go down there.
I took him on that about 6 years ago.
Nice.
There, actually. I went to both museums as a kid, so.
That's awesome.
I still miss.
Which is easier to get there. It's quite the hike if you're taking transit, but if you're
When I-
driving, it's.
when
Well, at the time, well, it's almost impossible through transit.
What I still
But there,
miss
but, like,
is the Vienna train. That was the first car I rode at National Capital.
That one was lost in the
Car
fire.
house fire, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we had the train derailment. They had the car house fire, and their incident took
Theirs
out.
was closed for many years because when they were building the ICC, you couldn't have it. Cause when I went there as a kid, there was no ICC. The ICC didn't open up till I was like, what, 29 or so?
And I believe like they had to rebuild the museum for them.
Yes.
Yeah, they had
So
to.
they have. Our museum opened in '70. Is that correct?
66, we didn't start operating until 70.
There you go. So our building shows its age. I think NCTM, of course, having a newer facility. Things look a little bit newer there.
I know your green car was used in a couple of Barry Levinson movies.
Yes.
Avalon and Liberty Heights. And, like,
Actually, the Mocha that was actually a replica car. It was actually built with a gasoline engine on it.
oh,
But actually, some of the scenes in Avalon and Liberty Heights were filmed down here.
yeah.
Was Liberty Heights when they just filmed like last year, or was
No,
that-
both of those were.
Okay.
Well, Avalon came out at the beginning of the 90s, and Liberty Heights came out at the end of the 90s.
Yes.
Both Barry Levinson films. One takes place in like the late 40s / early 50s, and the other takes place in like the early to mid 50s.
Mid-50s.
Yeah, and you could almost even think that they're even like a similar situation, or even like the same character, because Elijah Wood's character in Avalon is like elementary school age, while Ben Foster's character in Liberty Heights is like teenagers, so they would be born around roughly the same time, and which, no coincidence, would probably be right around the same time Barry Levinson.
Loosely, it was basically what the Three Mencken books basically was Barry Levinson's autobiography.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people like John Waters' Baltimore, some people like David Simon's Baltimore, but my favorite Baltimore in Hollywood would be Barry Levinson's.
We had an Apple TV series, and the name of it I cannot remember, but they filmed here last year.
Oh.
I was not here on filming day, but I think, someone mentioned how they set up quite a few green screens because they wanted the car moving. They didn't need our background.
Yeah, the technology's different these days.
Exactly.
Now that I see that train still passing over us, I wonder, did Baltimore Transit or United ever carry any freight as well?
Yes. They acquired Gunther's Freight, and they ran 1912 around until 19.
I think we need to get going
Yes.
because we
We
cannot.
will, not till the train passes by, Leo.
We can't. I think we're not going to ride trolleys
The Lawrence.
because of too much freight trains.
Leo,
Yes.
they carry, Leo, the engine's right there, so they're,
That's $20 from every.
That was $20. You can make $20 a week for making good money.
It reminds me of when I came I visited in South Korea, and then I came back and I still had some Korean cash on me, and I wanted to show some of my friends, and they were impressed because I had a 10,000 won bill, and they were like, "Whoa, how much did you get?" And I said, "This is just enough for a burger, fries, and Coke combo at a decent restaurant."
I know.
So it's like
the joke is there was a guy there's a guy that, there's a girlfriend a scarf. I hope you like it. It costs 10,000 lira, Italian money. And her smart, or snotty, smart kid, brother. So what? There's only $5 American.
Well, in The Simpsons, when they went to Japan, they said they were down to their last million yen to fly home, and million yen is like 9 grand. So if you're flying 5 people from Tokyo to wherever Springfield is, I don't know if 9 grand will even cover it.
Well, I still like the one, Lucy, after I Love Lucy. How much did she says to Fred? How much did you give Ethel? $10. $10? I gave her 10 of what are they called dollars here? Fred, if you gave Ethel 10 pounds, you gave her $28. Holy cow! Unfortunately, like I said, when they decimalized it, I still miss the quid, the tuppence, three, because they had different expressions, half crown.
That was when they had the shillings and guineas and all of that.
Well, guinea is more of a it was a luxury thing. The guinea's only 21 shillings. Half a crown is 2 shillings 5 pence.
Okay.
They don't refer to pence as much as pence itself in the UK now. They just say p when they're referring to pence now.
Yup. Pound and shilling, or 7 and 6, that kind of stuff. Well, it's time for us to be on our merry way.
Money, and it's kind of like old British money. It's not decimal, and they have totally different counting systems for each.
Well, they actually went decimal in 1971.
Wow.
D-Day, decimal day.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine there was a lot of controversy about decimal.
Like stock prices. I remember stock prices were in fractions of 1/8, not to the penny.
It stopped.
What?
It stopped.
The
The train stopped.
Okay.
Well, I hope you don't feel kidnapped. We typically haven't seen one this long or a stoppage in quite a while. Or if we do, it's before the streetcar goes out with passengers. Oh boy.
Well, we held up. Oh, never mind. I see it from here.
Now's a good time to talk about the working conditions of the streetcar motorman and conductor. A lot of these shifts happened before the labor movement occurred and the 40-hour work week was standardized. So I'll say it's a pretty pleasant day for the white jacket.
I suggest you might want to come in before he starts up again.
Right, we're fine.
Stop moving, guys. You can move.
I think we had enough riding on that trolley.
What, Leo?
I think we have enough riding on that trolley.
You don't want to ride the other ones? You don't have to if you don't want to.
You wanna go home, we go home.
Yeah, I mean, because I know this one was a little longer, so we had to stop for the train.
Yeah, we should go.
Okay, we can do that. You want to just broadcast the other trolleys while we
Yes.
get off?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
So I can look
Or
to
some
get in.
McDonald's or whatever it is he wants to eat. We can only pay with the card because that's all I have.
That's fine. Oh,
Whoa, another trolley.
Let's just let him broadcast the outside of that.
Look at that trolley.
1164 that always derails.
Not going straight, we'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Hop in that train.
It just stopped, Leo.
I don't think it's derailed or something.
No,
I think we should get on that trolley.
oh, you want to get on the trolley? Or not? Do
We
you?
could try.
Yeah, well, we have transfers, we can do it. You want to ride the Philadelphia trolley?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.